Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? People always go on madness someplace. I hate to even think about it.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? And welcome to WAFFLE Lodge of Horror. I bow to my brethren. Vaughn, it's good to see you.
Shanth, feeling is mutual. How are you doing?
Not in the chat here, man. Thank you guys for tuning in again today. Leg Kick 1 saying hello, hail to you. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 is here. We've got John, of course. John is awesome. It's great to see you. I'm kind of sleepy, so I might fade. It's all right. You don't worry, man. We have got Stephen Rockwood dropping more links, and Oscar Meyer. God bless you. We've got Timmy Mello here. It's great to see you. David G again. Great to see you, man. It is terrific. Haven't seen it in 30 years. Wow. There you go. We've got Sark. We have got, I can't pronounce that, but much love. DJ. Sick Rick. Duh. I can't believe DJ Sick Rick. Bow to you. I just can't read. That's what the problem is. Micra, it's great to see you. And let's see who else we've got here. Stephen Rockwood dropping links again. And we've got the link to Vaughn comic in here as well. Terror in the Trenches. It is his second. Rest assured it will be quality. And because
I was just working on it all day today.
I can't wait.
Trying to finish this
American Comics Company. You're always in good company when American Comics Company is here. Awesome One is here. Norin Rad 2 Turbo is here. Timmy Mello.
Cool. Turbo edition. Nice.
Booyah. So Vaughn,
yes.
Talk to me about zombies.
Zombies changed the world of horror forever and became a potent metaphor within our pop culture that still resonates greatly with us to this day, as proven by Walking Dead. But it all started one place and with one man. Pennsylvania, or was it? Or was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with a man named George A. Romero who made Night of the Living Dead, man. And when I got my first copy of Night of the Living Dead as a used VHS at a flea market, and it was one of the best, most exciting horror purchases of my life. You know, getting home to watch it finally and find out what it was all about. You know, and then this movie came out and it blew everyone's minds, didn't it? I mean, or am I wrong? I mean, it's Dawn of the Dead. I don't know. It's almost every zombie fan's favorite movie, and for good reason. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is too is when you're looking at a movie and you're looking at, so George A. Romero is out of Pittsburgh. He shoots his first film in black and white, and it's this incredible film. And he's got to come back and he's got to figure out what is he going to do for a sequel? Like, what's he going to do to follow that up? And he doesn't want to really return to the genre. And sure enough, someone finally gets him to do it. And you get this unbelievably interesting, introspective sequel that is, again, 1978. And we are in the late 70s right now. Very relevant for today, man. Crazy.
How long between Night of the Living Dead and this movie, Shanth?
I think it was a decade.
Dang. Romero was just, he's that type of creator, though. he does what he wants, and he likes to try different things each time. That's
Absolutely
how he rolls, which I like, I respect, I love a lot. It paid off for this. I mean, 10 years between movies, and the culture's changed, filmmaking's changed, the film's in color, and yet people consider this one of the greatest sequels of all time. What's that about? How interesting is that?
I mean, it's so funny because there's nothing like having a creator and a filmmaker who is waiting for the story and knows when it's time to tell it. And I think he had another zombie story to tell when he made this.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Yeah, he did. He saw the new generation's version of zombieism, and he had something to say. And that's something you guys will find in his movies. His movies have a message, and it's not preachy. It's usually not too preachy. You could argue, debate maybe if it is in some movies more heavy-handed, but it's more like a warning. Like, hey guys, be a little careful with this or else this could happen type message. It's that type of message that I think, for this era, for him to warn this movie, essentially, we'll talk about this as they go to a mall to live and survive the zombie plague. He's saying, hey guys, don't become zombies for consumerism. Yeah. He's not saying all consumerism is evil or whatever. He's just saying, like, he's starting to see it run amok. And then, of course, what happens after this movie? The 80s, and consumerism takes off, and we get Madonna as a material girl. So,
yeah, I mean, he sees the what I love about this movie, and what I love about the fact that it benefited from being a sequel and all that kind of stuff, was the fact that we have basically the zombie rise is not new, but it's recent. Like, it's just happened, so to speak. People are aware of it. They're trying to figure it out. And so you get thrown into what would happen, not in a small town and smaller budget with Dawn of Night of the Living Dead. With Dawn, you have the newsroom as the opening for how they're processing it.
Oh, man. Oh, there's George.
There's our man. There's the director.
Right. Yeah. And it's great. So they throw us, they just hoist us into the chaos of a society in collapse while they're still trying to, like, keep the news going. So we're at a definite stage of zombie outbreak happening where basically it's chaos everywhere right now. And people are having to start. I mean, it's literally kind of, we're on the edge of the breakdown, and this is just the beginning of the movie. So it's immediately much more interesting. It's much more action driven than you would have expected too. If you were expecting it to be Night of the Living Dead, this is not.
No, I mean, it's not, the brother and sister going out to the cemetery, they're coming to get you, Barbara. It's none of that. You're in a newsroom. It feels very handheld. You get a couple of lockdown shots, but you feel like you're just thrown into the chaos. And it starts with this character asleep, essentially, and she ends up, being woken up just like we are and jolted into the action,
Yeah. His female protagonists are so great.
Yeah.
They're so interesting, man. And I'm always, and that's something people don't talk about in these movies, the female leads that, kind of drive them, a lot of them, and it's in all three of them if you think about it. So yeah, awesome. This is, she's sipping her coffee for now, so like she's up against a nice flushy. I was gonna say fluffy, and then plush, fluffy, and then it became flushy. But
we drifted into plushies somehow. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, but the walls back then, I mean, look at this 1970s plush on the wall too, baby. It's on your carpet, it's on your wall. So like, she's safe enough, she's insulated enough. Even look at this shot where like it's all soft all around her, it's all flushy all around her. So but it's very soon about to all collapse. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like how that
absolutely
action keeps driving this intro.
Yeah,
and I didn't know he had action movie chops. You know what I mean? Like.
What do you think of these guys?
He kind of pulls it out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The two like crazed maniac news guys. That one on the left there probably isn't even wearing pants. He just has a top.
Yeah, he's not.
Right?
No.
And the other guy's jacket, he burnt that a long time ago, and they have little glasses of water. Yeah, they're just on their last mental nerve, man. It's over.
Yeah, and what I thought was
They're
so
off the
interesting.
script.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're off the script for sure. What I thought was so fascinating about it too. Yeah, back when you used to have to vacuum clean your walls, says Henry Bemis. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it feels like you're in the fray right before it starts. Amen.
Excellent.
And here's a question for us. A common question. When and if the society ends, what fear would you rather face? I always chose zombies when I saw World War Z.
Oh yeah, like what horror of that would end the world do I want to face? I don't know. I'll admit I've had an end of the world fantasy. It's real simple. The aliens are coming down on us with everything they've got on the planet, and we're just all the countries. We're like an amazing union, the whole planet, and we're launching everything we've got at them at the same time. And while it's happening, we're playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC for like everyone across the world to listen to while we like give them our final stand.
That's how you have to do it.
I
think that's better than anything I could come up with.
Is that okay? That's my fantasy. Like we're all listening to Thunderstruck and looking up at the sky, going, "Oh," you know what I mean? And they're like coming down. You know,
the thing I loved about this flick, and the thing I loved about this scene in particular, is it showed, funny enough, how committed the pundits were, as they're shown here, to staying on we're gonna debate, like the world is ending and these guys are still taking political sides for show. And when they're like, there's a break in the action, they kind of look at each other and they're like, what the heck is going on? Like they're not even into it. And I loved that.
Yes, it's the illusions that society feeds us through our TV broken right in front of us already. I mean, he's already making cool commentary on how like what we think is like controlling the chaos in this world is all just in chaos behind the scenes. There's no control. It's all illusion.
Yeah, it's all illusion. And you're going to see as this movie kind of unravels, you see all the people are starting to leave. They're like going, I'm out of here. Forget this.
Yeah, it's too dangerous now. It's getting too dangerous.
Man the camera,
Yeah.
What does the panel think is the best cut of the film? The extended cut, theatrical, or Dario Argento's? Wow. I love the extended, to be honest.
I really enjoyed the extended as well.
Yeah. I mean, I got the multi-disc Blu-ray set, that I ordered, and when I saw that, that's the one I really fell in love with this film too, because you see these things on VHS back in the day, and it's not the same thing as seeing it, in a pristine wide format, not pan scan, So that would be me, in terms of Battle of Los Angeles. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Night of the Comet. Wow, look at these guys.
Another zombie scenario, but a little different. Yeah.
A little bit different, yeah.
The joggers. You gotta look out for the joggers.
Yeah, and so they're kind of falling apart, and she's saying, I'm not going to update and show the rescue centers because she's like, so many of them are down. I'm not going to keep old data up. And everybody's like, who cares? Just keep it on the air. Like, they just don't care, man. And then we get this dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Pilot.
So who we got here?
Pilot Boy?
Pilot Boy. Fly Boy. I love
Flyboy. That's the name.
Sorry. Oh, man, it cracked me up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's giving her the we've done it before stare, so it's it's her BF.
Yeah.
Flyboy.
It's her boyfriend, and we're going to learn they've got a little bit more going on.
He has a very long Klaus popped collar. It's fully popped.
Yeah,
ready it's ready for action. He says, "We got to get out of here." What are you doing? Career change,
the last
baby.
Thing we ever do.
Yeah, changing her career for her like a man does.
That's right.
We're gonna get to Breeden, into the world. Come with me to my helicopter.
Yeah, some might say they're already there. I'm trying to figure out what her haircut was called back in the day. The Dorothy Hamill that's a good suggestion as any, man. The Dorothy Hamill works, man. And so then we cut to one of our soon-to-be featured main characters, this gentleman, in what, how would you describe this scene, Vaughn?
A brutal massacre of epic proportions that has racial undertones.
Yes. They are attacking a gang, and there's a character that I just love because it just makes me laugh because being I'm a fourth Puerto Rican. I was watching this scene, and I want to question whether or not these people are truly Puerto Rican, dare I say.
Right.
And also
not,
that this guy is like a cartoon of what people think racist people are like. He's like, I can't imagine him read his lines.
Most deaf.
There he is.
When I think about how this movie opens up like this and has this type of fight between cops and a gang, in the 70s, the crime was like now, like it went through the roof. There was a lot of violence happening, and suddenly Romero wants to make a sequel to Night of the Living Dead, and it opens with all this type of cop versus, a bunch of minority people, a bunch of gang members, violence and stuff. It's very interesting. He's responding to what's going on around him in his era, clearly.
Yeah.
And it's brutal. This is very much like watching a cool action movie now all of a sudden. And you find out why they're fighting, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I'm not convinced this guy is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I have shoe polish that color. I don't know. I think I painted himself up a little bit for this role. He was trying to get in character. I mean, Johnny Depp got to play Tonto.
Yeah, he's method, this dude. This dude was absolutely method, guys.
Shoe polish method for sure.
I love this guy.
That wig, dude. I could go get that wig right now at Party City for $6, I swear. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
There's somewhere, there's somebody still trying to cancel this man. They just can't find him because he's always in disguise.
Here's how you here's how you find him. He's got a white stripe where a headband used to be.
That's right. He does. He totally does. Oh, here's another one of our hardcore gang members.
Manfro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's protection, He's in a brutal neighborhood. This is the end of the world.
Yeah, so, if you're in Pittsburgh and you've got to, film a movie and bring some of that scope to it, you just call your friends, and that's going to happen.
He's got a nice big old gun. Jeez.
Yeah, he does.
I thought that was like the railing. No, that's a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
he's for real.
He looks kind of like the leader with that gun now, because that rifle just kind of goes off screen, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty rough.
That rifle is his rage. Yes, most of.
Yeah, I mean, and so let's see here. We've got. So I'm not going to show. I'm not going to show where this goes, guys.
It's like the avocado I just leave in my fridge, man.
Yeah, I won't, John. Don't you worry. It's like something out of the Warriors. You're right. No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. So do you know the story behind this? The finest head explosion of all time.
Please tell us about this avocado, this ripe avocado.
They were going to do a more bleak ending scene, so I'm going to have to share some spoilers with you.
His eyes are popping.
Where the blonde female lead character was going to die. They decided not to do it, so they then decided to use the head they made for her. Just look at it carefully and paint it dark.
Like put a beard on it.
Put a beard on it.
Gender swap.
And blow it up.
Welcome to Hollywood, guys.
Yeah,
as long as it's only one frame, right? And just blow it up.
And I've spent my whole life trying to look like this guy. I've had a number of surgeries.
Yeah, for this Halloween, I'm sure you'll be able to pull him off. Come on.
I can do this. Yeah, I put on that orange shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
hilarious.
Howling did start within a newsroom. You're right. I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah. Yeah. Or is she on the stakeout? I'm trying to remember. I know it ends in the newsroom.
Movies in the 70s, man.
Oh, jeez. We can't go there. We can't go there.
Oh, yeah. He's a pleasant shade of violet, isn't he?
But again, guys, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a... Okay, maybe it is a puppet.
Eye bulge. Oh, sorry. So this
Yeah.
I mean, at least he's a zombie, so they're allowed to look all messed up.
Definitely does. There's no getting around that.
Look at this badass. And then this guy in the back's just kind of supervising, like, yep, you shoot him, guys.
Well, and the thing about it for me, when I look at this flick, right, we were talking about Stranger Things recently, and I remember when they started showing a movie theater, and this movie was playing in the Stranger Things with the mall episode, the Star Court introduction.
Mhm.
And the fact that they had that end battle inside of a mall, I've always thought was just a homage to this flick, you know? And there's just
I
something
never
about
thought of it as an homage to this flick, but that makes perfect sense. I
know?
always thought of it as just their version of like a 1980s standoff would happen in a mall, but it
Mhm.
makes sense that it would be. I mean, they're hat tipping to this movie for sure. It's such a. I don't know. Malls were such a new thing then too.
Yeah.
So it was like an interesting place too for them to end up. It was very unexpected, kind of fun. What the thing that when I met George A Romero, and when I heard him speak about this, he said, I made the movie to say that you guys should beware like malls making you into like consumer zombies.
Mhm.
But when you guys remade the movie, it's like you made the mall, it's like as if it was like the place to be. When he brought up the remake. But which basically was him making a great point, which was totally true, that our culture went the way of becoming more consumer zombies.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. But whatever. So yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting personal thing I heard him say that I could.
Oh my gosh, yeah, man. I mean, you have the aspect of they're able to film, you know, inside of malls now because malls are closing. And the way they were able to film in this particular movie is because the mall hadn't opened yet, which is just crazy.
Oh, perfect. Double perfect.
You know, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Like he saw this
Great
thing being
timing.
built. He talked to the people. He had some, oh God, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's Neil. We'll have to see. But it's one of those things to where I look at it and I just think, wow, it's crazy. Like in the arc from this movie, 1978 to now, you've seen the rise and the fall of the mall. Unbelievable.
Yeah. If you go to a mall, like the mall by me, it's dying.
Yeah.
It's this like weird apocalypse movie. It's perfect for a horror movie. It's perfect.
And here we
for
go.
Low budget horror. Oh, here we go.
Zombies. These are our zombies, folks.
Yep.
And they're not playing around. And
so
they
storm the building. They see what they're protecting. They gun everyone down. They open up a few, secret chambers and outpour the zombies, man. Yeah. Oh, God, that bite out of her is intense.
That was rough. Yeah. That was rough.
That guy went full bite. Look at that. That's a mouthful of turkey.
He made it happen. And here comes the second part of our action, dynamic duo here. What a face.
Yeah. I like this duo. They're cool.
Yeah. They're great. Yeah. They're great. They apparently got on really well and had a great time together making it. You can see it, in their relationship in this flick. It's great. They look like real people, which is what I like.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. And they're both very different characters. One is like stoically cool, while the other one's kind of like shifty, fidgety, and yet he's like kind of the short guy. He's kind of like the thief, you know what I mean? But he's very agile, good fighter to have around, very capable.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. I mean, they're a great team. They build out the characters and they build out the team so incredibly well. And then you get, again, this is one of those things that I would love to ask. Yeah, he left a hole in that shoulder like biting into a ham sandwich. Yeah, the looters. Yeah. This movie was an inspiration for so many high school video productions films. Yeah, I don't even doubt it. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't even doubt it. So so these guys meet up in
minds, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were saying, these guys meet up with this guy.
I feel like this could be a character in one of your books, dude.
I love him.
Isn't he great?
Yes. Great presence. Great everything.
He comes out and he
that leg. I love him.
I know.
I love him.
he's so terrific. He gives this almost beautiful little soliloquy about the situation, and he says, I'm watching over their zombies, but they're still, my parish. I'm watching over them, but I've given them their last rites. Go do what you have to do. But he kind of is giving them this cautionary little tale, which I thought was rather profound. This guy,
after just the M16s and the zombies and the brain splatter, for this guy to come out on a peg and tell you what's up. It was you're just this movie blew people's minds, man. George Romero was really sick, and the movie's only just begun, and it's already saying so much that it's a little. It's almost like overload. I love it though. It's absolutely wonderful. It's setting us up for everything to come. You know, for the whole scenario after. It's great. Introducing characters in cool ways, making some statements. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, dude. I was just listening to you, man.
I was finished, buddy. I was finished.
What is in there with them? Is that a piano? What is it like, or like a night? I guess it's a nightstand or something.
It looks like it's like a what do you call those things? It's like a bench, but it's got a high back on it. It looked like it was something possibly from the church or just some old piece of furniture. But there, you see him walk into it. And you see, natural chemistry in this movie. I love Romero's approach to making a drama wrapped in a horror scenario. You're absolutely right, man.
Great.
He's great. Yeah. The apartment residents are all there in the basement. They're, now feeding off, bodies and probably off of each other. And they've become these monsters. But it's a fainting couch. You're right. Yeah, Lord knows that you might need one in a flick like this. No doubt. And they've got to take care of it. He's got to take care of it, man. And it's rough because it could have been easy if it hadn't been, because if you saw this scene, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But you see the priest, character come out and he says, look, here we are, we're in this situation and I've read them their last rites, but if you've got to take them down, now you can do it. And the thing that sort of got me about that was, Peter, who is, where is he? Yeah, Peter, who is the guy that comes in the gas mask. I didn't have a shot of that. But Peter comes in and he's got this very kind of intense face. The other guy is kind of a little bit more, where is he? So you've got Peter and then you've got, oh God, I forgot this dude's name. Hang on a second. You've got Peter and you've got Roger. And Roger, now that wasn't Roger to be clear. The guy eating the net. But Roger is the blonde guy in the front you saw earlier. And Peter's sort of like, I'll handle this. Like, I'll go in there because he's kind of hardened and he goes in there and they have to take him down. And then, of course, they then flee because they have that discussion. Like, the world's falling apart. We got to get somewhere safe. And that kind of introduces them to our news lady, the pilot, and who's our guy Flyboy. And they have to fly to safety. And that's what does it. Francine and the pilot was Steven.
It was really interesting that the way they were like, no, we're preserving our family members and feeding them and keeping them like keeping that zombie plague like that. It's like they were the people who like refused to take off masks for COVID.
Yes,
like, this day, like they refused to. They think everyone should be in masks forever.
Ken Forley's boss.
So just cleaning those zombies out. And so finally we get our team here, or a likely team. And it's a cool team. They've got a helicopter.
It's a cool scene. They land.
Got a blonde
they got a refill. Hilarity.
Yeah. There's a lot of zombies coming out of the woodwork here. What do you think of the bluish, gray, greenish zombie look?
Oh, wow. I remember them discussing it, that they hadn't thought about what they would look like in color. And when they were in this situation, they had to approach it. I like it in terms of, I think it's classic and iconic, but my assumption has always been it was the subtlest shift that they could do away from black and white so that it would still tie in together. What did you think?
Yeah, it's something that Tom Savini did makeup, right? Oh, you left. Okay. So it's something that I believe.
Excellent. Hit the button. Go ahead.
Tom Savini did the makeup, right? And it's something that I've heard him say that he regrets, and that he decided to show off what he could really do in the next movie and Day of the Dead. So and he did. I mean, he like kills it. But it's so there's parts of me that are like, oh, like, it's not as good as it could be, but there's some really great zombies still. So it's part of the experience. It's like, part of me is like, sometimes they're just blue within white palms and all this stuff. And it's just kind of, it's less dead looking as much as it is just quick makeup. So
There's still really cool deaths. There's really cool headshots. There's people getting their tops of their heads lobbed off. So I appreciate the fact that, you know, it's flawed, but it's still kind of awesome.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's well crafted. You know, it's well crafted. David G saying, and Bane Mailer saying, you know, over the top was Tom Savini's trademark. David G saying, funny how they spent the time on the face makeup, but several of the zombies had no makeup on their hands. Yeah. I mean, this is guerrilla filmmaking, man. This is just getting it done. I mean, that's what makes it so crazy.
I know. And if we knew the budget and the constraints they were working with, I mean, it's a miracle that this comes out as awesome as it does, man.
Yeah, it is. It's craziness, man.
Savini was probably still learning, like making like a lot of zombies quickly for film with limited look and like, you know what I'm saying? And like how it would look in color and stuff. Once he figured it out, I mean, dang, he was making Oscar winning makeups after.
Yeah, he was. I mean, and that's kind of the thing, isn't it? I mean, you look at these folks and you've got to start somewhere, whether it's, we've talked about, gosh, Rob Bottin's work. We've talked about Rick Baker's work. And there's this idea that, you know, people try to get hired by shops now and effect shops, but really how they made it happen is you just got to start something. You got to get good, start something and put your work out there. And it's easier now than it's ever been.
Because you got that interwebs, kids.
Yeah.
We used to have the TV show Face Off, but that's over. That was a fun
I know.
You go there and strut your makeup chops.
Yeah. I learned a lot about painting zombies from Savini's interviews on Day of the Dead. By then, he learned to mostly use dry brush and do dark to light contrast for the zombies. Huge steps. Yeah, agreed.
Perfect. That is exactly how it's done.
Yeah, trauma. Yeah, exactly.
I love trauma.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, man.
Yeah,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah, yeah, baby. So, and where do they end up? The mall.
There you have it.
And also, and what another thing I love about this movie, it started something magical in zombie mythos. Like whereas Night of the Living Dead started the zombie mythos, this movie immediately started bringing up all those cool scenarios that you never thought of before and doing them before everyone else. Like, what if people hoarded their family members away because they didn't want to kill their zombie family members? What if there were zombie kids? Could you kill them? What if you know what I'm saying? And you see all this stuff. It's great. It's interesting. All those questions that if you're a zombie fan, you're talking to your buddy, you end up asking each other. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think that's what George Romero didn't approach it as a trope. You know, he approached it as, what would you do in this situation? And he realized that there were some people who were going to hide, you know, their family members.
Yeah. Romero always digs deep into people, what drives us, our desires, what we're really about, whether it's, even if it's ugly and weird, you know, I love it.
Yeah, he's a brilliant man. Brilliant man.
We miss him. We miss him a
lot.
lot.
We do. We do. Yeah, I mean, I think it was Del Toro who said when he passed away that he said a hell of a quote. He goes, "The loss is too great," you know, and I thought it is very much like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a great filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone should watch all this stuff. It's interesting to see his commentary on things. He's a filmmaker that's kind of a survivor, got his ass kicked a lot, never had the money and all this stuff, but and yet he's made these timeless classics like this movie.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
And so here we find ourselves.
Yeah. In a mall. I forgot how remind me, Shanth, how do they like spot it? Do they end up like landing on it?
They spot it from the air. They land on the roof. They check it out.
Does it have a message on top or anything or no?
Well, they're just flying over the parking lot, you know, and they're and they see the zombies on the outside. They're not sure what the inside is, but they know they need supplies. You know, they know they've got to stop. And it's fascinating because, you know, you think about it when, you know, Romero, I know you've seen him talk, you know, he talked about it as, you know, this place where you could get everything. So it's like this little, you know, utopia, right? Yeah. And, but when they get in there, you've got the zombies who are not really aware because there's no people left in there, but they're going about their business. So everything's in there, but it's mixed in with the zombies. Yeah. And that's what I love that about it, man. You know?
And you even see them pushing around carts, and that's when the mythos of the zombies starts to get deeper, and then the characters start to notice what brings them here. Well, perhaps it's an instinct from their lives. This was a behavior they used to do all the time, and now they themselves almost acted out in a zombified state. And all the zombie fans are like, "What? That's so cool!" You know, and it's a zombie mythos that lasts to this day.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is too. It's got staying power. I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
Because it's not just a cool fact about his version of zombies. He connected that fact, Shanth, to a very real phenomenon he saw happening in society. And it's it's almost kind of funny, him saying it too. It's a little prod, like you're a mindless shopper. You're just a mindless zombie for stuff instead of filling your life with real content, you know, that makes you happy. Just
it
stuff,
does.
you know. So yeah, he was making a cool message without being preachy. He was, you know, he probably was. See, when you're observing stuff, people, and you're being a creator, like it's those little things you observe where people just look like glassy-eyed pushing a cart around. Like those things are important.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. And I just realized something. Hang on a second.
Humanity,
I lost my
real way.
I just realized I lost my hold on a second. I lost my window. Where the heck is it?
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you if we were ready to put.
Yeah, I'm like, where the hell did it
go?
Hang on a second. Hang on. I thought they were
technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty.
Well, you should proceed as if success is inevitable, Shanth.
That's what I do, man. I proceed as if failure is ongoing. All right, so let me. Here we go, guys. So here they are fueling up.
Oh, look at this great zombie. That was a pretty good zombie.
Yeah. This is a good one, man.
Poster zombie, right? Poster quality.
Get that zombie on the poster. I want that kid.
Poster.
Get me that kid on the
Marilyn
phone.
Manson's looks that he could have done, should have done.
And here we go. This is what I thought I was showing on screen. Boomerific is
Look
right.
at those parking spots. Damn.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
This ball was ready for action, and zombies got to it before humans did. Hell yeah. Or their film crew got to it before anyone else did. So yeah, man, I mean, how could you not at least associate a place that's fortified from the zombies, that's big, that has all the stuff you need as a paradise, right? Like, I get why people see it as the place to be, but Romero's smarter than that, you know? He's got some actual statements to make. So here comes
he's got stuff to do
with all kinds of awesome stuff. I love how this is a 1970s mall too, so there's a giant gun store inside of it.
I know, right?
Talk about the best mall ever.
Well, and think about if it wasn't, you know, I mean, if it wasn't, you know, the mall that had that going on for it, they would be in some real trouble, because that's a big part of how they're going to survive is being able to get that stuff taken care of, you know? I mean, they've got weapons, but how long is that going to last? And at this point, you know, their plan is like, how do we get supplies that we need? And could we, one, where are we going to go? And then two, it starts to become, well, if everything we need is in here, how do we secure this place? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do to secure it? That's the crazy part for me. I was thinking,
so many entryways to it, and there's so much space to cover. It'd be hard to protect. But they're so resourceful. They build their little secret hideout, man, so that if people infiltrate, they're ready.
Absolutely, man.
Shit.
Yeah, what gets me in there is the gun store in the mall. They don't have that in Southern California malls of my youth. Yeah, I don't think they do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'd probably eat all the ice cream first, John. I think that's a safe move.
Start with the ice cream, definitely.
That's right. Vaughn and I will rob the Chick-fil-A. I think that would be it. We'd just be grabbing it, grabbing some tea.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Good
and
stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, you've got these guys, and here are the zombies and some mannequins, and you can hardly tell them apart.
I love it. Know? Yeah. There they are. These old 70s shops.
How's that for a shot right there?
Oh, my God. They're all set up and ready to start selling stuff. And all those, I bet all the store owners had no idea that a zombie movie was being filmed with all their stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they had the rights to it. But yeah, this is awesome, man. This is great. Here they come.
I mean,
Christmas shopping season.
And you've got to love the fact that, you know, when you see this, before we had seen this kind of thing done 1,000 times. Yeah, yes, indeed, Enrique. Yes, indeed.
Hey.
Before they had done this stuff a billion times in flicks, the idea of the mall zombie was made iconic by this. You know, it's so fascinating to me to look at this. I mean, indie filmmakers using what they have, and how do I word it? I think it was Robert Rodriguez in Rebel Without a Crew who said, it's not about coming up with a story and then trying to find the resources. It's about looking for what resources you have and then trying to build a story around the resources. And I think sometimes that's the difference between, getting it done, right? And not. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Good to see you in the chat, brother.
Yeah, man. Creativity is an evolutionary adaptation to survive, but it's also like you can use it to create awesome stories. So use what you got, man. This was clever that he was able. I mean, him pulling this off. This was amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think the people who let him use them all had an idea of how significant the statements of this was. You know what I mean?
Without doubt.
And the warning of it, but and also it's this movie. He brings such a great mix though of gore and action too, and comedy, and just how weird and crazy and self-serving humanity can be.
And I think, you said something great too, which is that I don't think, I mean, the mall is such a new thing at this point. I don't think they could have conceived of this being any kind of threat, to what they were doing.
Oh, it was going to be the thing for a couple decades or more. Yeah. After this. And he was trying to warn us.
What Nosfero's gives. Yeah, exactly. What if I needed a magic 8-ball? Henry Bemis. Amen. Camps was a one and done. There you go. Yeah. Because I still haven't made the pilgrimage to the Monroeville Mall.
I was going to ask if it's still around. That's cool.
Is it still around? I heard somebody say that it's still around. So it's got to be done before it's. I know they tore down the house, but it's great that they've still got the mall to visit. Man, it has to be done.
Sacred ground. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hell, if I was one of those, that's the thing. I wish I was rich as hell. So if they tried to close it, I just buy it and turn it into like a horror museum, turn it like a George Romero museum or something.
Amen.
Like lots of different sections and floors, and it'd be awesome.
To the next one. Hang on a second. All right, hang on. So now I'm going to close this out here because I'm doing this in got this done in stages because there's so many things to grab. So I'm doing my best.
Right.
Here. But
you're doing great.
Let me say that where this movie goes once they get set up into this situation is what I think makes it brilliant. It's like you've got these characters. So you've got a couple, they aren't married, they have some kind of relationship, and they're in a relationship enough to know that when the end of the world comes, they've got to take care of each other. And we're going to learn that she's expecting. And then we've got these two, basically, police officers, SWAT guys, who come together and are good buddies, and they've got good heads on their shoulders. And these people come together and make this sort of micro society within this bizarre situation. I mean, like, what can you do here? Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, what can you do? I don't know. Pick a wing and find forms of entertainment once you've fortified everything. Which fortify. So they fortify everything, and it's pretty intense, man. It's dangerous, and I think it might actually get dangerous enough to where someone gets bit. I could be wrong.
You are correct, sir. You are correct. So, speaking of, let's talk about our first job, which is reconnaissance, to see what the situation is and get some stuff we need. And
Shanth, this is you and I, Shanth. This is us.
This is absolutely
in the apocalypse, planning to go to get the Chick-fil-A, and then maybe. I have
a feeling though. I would be alternating between both of those faces. I'm like,
I'll be right back, sir.
Faces.
Talk about their awesome highs. Yeah, he does. I love these actors. Great choices. I'll be right back though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Romero got the idea for this film when he met the guy who owned the mall and thought, gee, you could hold up in there forever. Excellent, Brian. And I know your horror guys. By the way, can we get some links posted for Brian Christgau's channel? I do. Oh, what am I saying? John's here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for dropping links to that channel. They have a great horror show over there. It's terrific. Go check it out. Brian is a fellow pulp lover and comic lover, and of course, Six Gun Gorilla guys. Buy it, back it often. And I think, Brian, there's some more stuff here, but hang on a second here. Hold on. Brian, I want to make sure. Where are you, Brian? Where are you in the chat, Brian? Oh, here we go. Boom. All right, Brian, you can post links to your wares now. Do let me know if it works. Okay. Robco guy, the Romero statue is still there, and there is now a museum in the mall too. I think the tilt sign is in the museum now. Wow. Excellent. Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you guys for posting links and all that stuff. Joe Bob and Darcy did a jamboree. Hail, Joe Bob Briggs, near this past summer. Bummed I missed it. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's rough. What a bummer. Yeah, I was just looking at the abandoned malls to buy when I get rich. That's exactly right, Ellie Munoz. Great to see you. Brian Kriskow, if I could buy it, I would restore it to the way it was on the film and pay people to wander around with their faces painted blue. What a dream to have, and I second that dream. Admiral Wackass is dropping links here. Back Terror in the Trenches, absolutely badass indeed, by my brother Vaughn. And we love doing this show for you guys, so do check out those books. We're moving books like crazy today. So Joe Bob. Yeah, absolutely, man. Joe Bob's the man. I smoked a cig and chatted with him in Orlando at a con a few years ago. Nicest dude.
What a badass. I love him.
Yeah, terrific guy, man. Terrific guy. Look at all these fine people here in the chat.
Awesome. Cheers.
Let's hope not. Yeah. Amen. That's how we do it here. Yes, the bikers play a role in this film too. Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Odin? I tip my cap to you, brother. It's good to see you. And hail Vaughn as well.
Strangely, the best Chick-fil-A I've had in my life was from the mall. I don't know what it was. Something about it was so hot and fresh out of the fryer. It tasted better than it ever did.
So I always get Chick-fil-A at the mall when I was going back and forth to work. But now I have a freestanding Chick-fil-A. I haven't found a massive difference because I enjoy it either way. However, one has to have it. Yeah, make a paintball game. Oh, we have the best ideas, man. We got
that would be a zombie paintball game in the original Dawn of the Dead mall. Do you know how much people would line up to do that?
Oh my gosh, amazing. Well, we'd be there without a doubt, man. We would look exactly like
in our SWAT gear. In our SWAT gear with our M16s.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Chick-fil-A for the win. That's right. Can't even remember the last time I went to a mall. Guys, and I'm gonna let you guys know about a little secret about regarding this movie when we get to the end of the stream. So remind me to do so, and we'll get it done. But so yeah, you've got these two guys who basically become it's like a buddy cop film, so to speak, but it's more like just a buddy flick, I guess, is the way you'd see it. Apocalypse buddies, and they're basically like kids in a candy store.
Yeah, Then we get our fun montages of like, man, they have everything at the mall. Kind of off message a little bit here, George. I'm just kidding. He knows what he's doing. He's a master. He's having fun though, because this is exactly what we would do and these characters would do. Look, where is he now? Is this a hardware store? This place is geared out. The fact that this place wasn't stripped is amazing. Their luck is amazing. They better fortify that place with I don't know what they can do. Oh, wow. I got a very diverse crew here.
We do. Yes. Yeah. If anybody is curious about, for more evidence of how much we're in the 70s, I would encourage you to just Google the Hare Krishna movement and look at that collection of characters. And you would be shocked by how much we are currently recreating that in this day and age. It is something else, down to, the shaved head and the whole 9 yards. So I found that particularly fascinating watching this whenever I've made the statement that, we're essentially in the 70s. It's totally true. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what blows my mind about it. Sears had everything back then. It sure did. Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, Hare Krishna Zombie. They give you free CDs. Yes, you still have the Krishna outside of LAX. I'll always remember them from Airplane. Why were they called Moonies? It's not sure. The way I understand it, says Brian Kriskow, Star Wars fans, is that they love those movies. I love the original Romero Dead trilogy. There you have it. there is the language barrier being
Yep.
put together. Sears was the Amazon of the 70s. There you have it.
Yep.
I remember when everything was there.
You just
There
had
you
you
have
would
it.
go there for your dishwasher. You would go there for all, it was the place. Now it's gone.
I just need someone to Photoshop your face onto this picture where he's getting thrown the bottle of Jack, sitting there chill, like a Western.
What a badass.
It's like
Apocalypse buddies. Apocalypse buddies.
that's right. Hey man, here's the Jack.
the
Enjoy
Jack.
your spam. Let's do it.
I mean, it's just awesome.
Yeah, man.
Hells yeah. Yeah.
Look at these cats.
Living
Look
the
at
life,
these cats.
man. What section of the mall would you take, Shanth? Other
Oh
than
my
the
gosh.
Chick- I think we'd have a fight over the Chick-fil-A. We'd have to just
No, we go. Give me a Chick-fil-A and I
we'd
can.
both just be cooking there all the time together. Like,
That's right. We'd be holding it
what's for
down with the
breakfast?
Chick-fil-A.
I wonder. Chick-fil-A.
I mean, apparently the Sears had everything back then, man. So
Yeah.
what can you say? I mean,
Right.
it's just totally nuts. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Yeah, Moonies were a different group, followers of Reverend Moon. There you go. Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, you've got your Jonestown posse. You've got a lot of exciting things happening around this time. A lot of people searching for things. And
Go find one of those fake room setups with furniture, and make it.
Mhm. You bet, man. You bet. And so we're hanging out. Things aren't looking too great
he's
for
not
those two.
horny at all, touching himself while he looks at her like that.
No, what is that?
And she's definitely not into it.
She's not feeling it.
Many
you know,
layers
and of
there.
course,
Many layers.
outside the mall. Okay, let's
Outside
be
the
real.
mall.
These people over here, I don't know if they're in anything.
Mm.
They don't look like they have makeup on at all to me. Just throwing that out there. I could be wrong.
Could be a BLM rally for all we know. I don't know.
And then look at this. You've got them walking across the indoor skating rink.
Yeah. And you start
What
seeing
did you have?
zombies in a funny way, which
Mhm.
Romero didn't. I don't think he really did Night of the Living Dead. So this
No.
is getting interesting. He's letting his zombies be funny too, which is great because they would be. That's the thing about the way he works, right? It's like he tries to be honest about what
Mhm.
would happen, and this, these idiots are on the ice all day, falling down just like they did when they were alive.
Yeah, he didn't. It's funny to think about that he originates a genre and people fall in love with the vision of the genre that he has, created or the zombie movie. And he comes back and he brings something new to it again because to him it wasn't a sacred cow. You know what I mean? He was just like, let's do it. Let's play in this world. Time to repopulate the earth. Yeah, well, it's going to take a lot of doing at this point. Let's see. Micro says, I have to admit, I actually really liked the remake of this movie. Snyder somehow accidentally made a good movie. I've heard a lot of people sing its praises. Vaughn, where do you come down on the remake, the Snyder remake?
Woo. So,
Uh-oh.
I just had a cough. Something was in my throat. So, the remake is actually really good. It doesn't.
Dude, I'm sorry I caught you mid-choking.
I know, right? Like I was trying to drink. I don't know what the hell was in my throat. It was like granola or something.
Yeah.
So the remake was really good.
Mhm.
But it was like telling you malls were like the best place to be.
Mhm.
But it's his best work. It's the best thing by Zach.
Mhm. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I know a lot of people were excited, including our very own Ethan, about the Army of the Dead and his return to that genre. But from what I've gathered, people were not as happy about.
Yeah, I heard bad things.
Yeah,
I don't expect good things from Zach. He hasn't really grown as a filmmaker or really done anything interesting. So
yeah.
I'm not really into him. He feels like
And
I can't believe he keeps making stuff. I can't expect Hollywood to be like, you suck, you're an old era. You know what I mean? He's kind of an old era guy. Like he was cool, but now it's like, what are you doing?
Well, it's a very interesting thing because when you've got a filmmaker who is taking a classic work. He's done a few of those where he takes a work that's iconic, tries to interpret it, in a stylistic way off of it. And those seem to work all right. I think that had a law of diminishing return the more of himself he put into it. But I mean, that could just be me, so who's to say? Like, hello, everybody. Oh man, I got to catch up here.
Yeah.
What Romero gets is that things can be scary and silly at the same time. It isn't that life, right?
True.
You're so right, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like everything about him, it's so honest. It's true.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I love horror with a tinge of some comedy in there too. It just works.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, and I think that's Brian Christgau. The Dawn remake is it's okay. It's okay because it doesn't try to be better than the original. James Gunn wrote a script inspired by the Philip Kaufman remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There you go. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It had cool things in it, and the characters were well done, and the story played out pretty cool, actually, and it had a pretty sweet zombie killing bus at the end.
Yeah.
It's some fun stuff.
I think it's an interesting thing though that something that was created in America, a monster created in America, and that has gone everywhere, and that it's so expansive that it's its own genre. I mean, think about that we've seen from 58, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken on that? Is it
what?
It's Night of the Living Dead. Someone in the chat let me know if it's 58. I'm pretty sure it is. But from there to now, one of the biggest comic book and television show phenomenons of the last 20 or 30 years, or 20 years at least, is a zombie show based on essentially Romero's creation. It's incredible.
Right. And the fact that comic book got made by lying, because he wanted to just basically do Romero's zombies, but he couldn't pitch that because they wouldn't make the comic. They wouldn't publish him at Image. So he just pitched it as some other weird random UFO invasion or something, and then made a Romero comic pretty much anyway. And then it took off. What's that about?
I know.
It becomes that show that won't
Yeah,
go
and
away.
DJ Sickrick, yeah. It's one of those things where what amazed me about it, and I don't know if you were a big fan of the comic book. Oh, 68. People have got it. 68. Is that
68? That's okay. That's not totally right.
That's crazy, man.
So 58, I was like, that sounds early. I thought it was 60s.
Yeah, wait, sorry. Night of the Living Dead is 54. I know because literally came out on my birthday. So that's right. It was 54 for Night of the Living Dead. So it was bigger than a 10-year gap between this and 68.
What?
Wow.
I thought it was later.
Man.
Yeah, other
what
people said 60s. Godzilla was 54. Night of the Living
Dead. Oh, wait,
Dead
Night of the Living Dead was 68 is what we're saying. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
There's
thought.
debate. There's debate amongst the chat. Yeah, there you go.
I think it was early 50s like that.
There you go. It was still black and white. Yeah. I mean, it's so weird and surreal to see zombies become mainstream. Back in the day, the only people into zombie movies were weirdos and trolls like me. Well, hey, listen, guys. Fight. No, it's 68. 68.
68 babies. 68 babies.
You guys got us, man.
It was 10-year gap, like you said. But here's the thing, man. Like yet they kept making. There's so many zombie movies from the 60s and 70s. Like,
yes.
So someone loved them, and someone out there was making them, not just for money. The people who made them then, they still loved zombies, even with the tacky, cheesy ones. There's tons of them.
Amen.
It was a phenomenon. It was. And it's weird because other cultures have zombies too, but they're different.
Yes.
I don't know. It's interesting.
This is where we get our news, right, Vaughn? This gentleman?
Yeah. One-eyed Pete or whatever. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, he's like a pirate who takes over. But he's the guy who really brings the kind of the grim reality to them because he's on the news and he's going, take them down.
He's their Alex Jones.
Yes, he is. Without a doubt, man. He's taking them down. He's talking about the frogs. He wants something done, Vaughn. He wants something done. And this is the shot that they did the exact same shot. There's the JCPenney solid state right there. Look at that logo. But what I love about this is they did a similar shot in Night of the Living Dead, where they basically had some film they had put together and did a television overlay. And I can't tell you how easy this is to do now. If you want to make this shot, it's so easy. It's ridiculous. But then it probably took some work. Amazing. Yep. And then we start to we come to the decision at this point in the movie. For those of you guys who know, it's where they say, look, we could hold out here, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to barricade this place, get those zombies out of there, barricade this place, and we're going to use 2 trucks to do it. And they come up with this really great strategy for how to do it. Yeah, that's right. Is anachronism in action. Exactly right. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. Dummies. Dummies. That's right. That's right. Is that Fidel? It is Fidel. He's been in a lot of movies. Yeah, or Dan Crenshaw. There you go. So yeah, so they hatch their plan. The buddies again, they grab their trucks. They're ready to rock and roll. They've got some lookouts, and they're going to secure this place with these trucks. They've got this great strategy. And look at that, man. Between these 2 guys, we got this, boss.
Yeah, buddy. I'll see you on the other side.
You on the other side.
Let's do
and
it.
Here they go.
And the zombies, they don't run. They don't run, kids. They're all dead. They're all messed up. And but still they hoard you and they sneak up on you, you know. They get it close when you're not ready. So they've got to get these trucks to set up a nice barricade for them, which is pretty clever. But it also kind of lets people know that there's people there. So
yeah. I mean, I try to think of shooting this thing on film. I try to think of directing all of these extras. I try to think of even getting this thing done, what's involved, and then to make something that is, again, 2 iconic films in the same genre is incredible to me. And a shot like this is the shot most people don't think of these days. How do I word this? They didn't think of it until they saw it here. And that's what I love. You know, just the space, what you could do with extras. You know, it's great stuff. Yeah, they're not fast or strong. They're just so many of them, quantity versus quality. You're absolutely right. And I think that's what makes them more believable, because if you take a person and the zombie becomes like a person but with superpowers, you get a little bit more into the werewolf vampire kind of thing. You know, yeah, it's Dawn. Exactly right. It's Dawn. Amen. Running zombies is dumb. The scariest part about zombies is the sheer numbers. It's pretty much a statement on overpopulation. Well, there you go. And so is this movie on some level too. They bring that up. They're not afraid to cover anything in this. You know, and man, it's craziness. And so, continually on the verge of getting bitten in this flick.
Mm-hmm. Every time you think you're safe.
Yep.
Bam.
You got to defend yourself. Every time they have these harrowing near misses as they try to secure the facility using their trucks.
Yeah. It sucks. You wish they kind of spent a little more time clearing them out, but nope. These are getting swarmed pretty quick. That's what zombies do, though, man.
Yeah. It's their way. It's their way. What can you do? You know, you try to stop them, but exactly. Run.
Shoot.
You know,
run.
And again, he's had a near miss. And his friend is like, you know, you got to take it easy. Oh, no, he didn't have a near miss. He gets bit, and his friend.
A near bite?
Yeah, he gets bit.
He's bit.
And his friend is like, man, you know, I cannot believe my fingers can't type today. Hold on, did I miss something here? Let me just make sure I didn't miss it. Let me see. I don't see anything, Henry, so let me just double check. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. Wait, that was his wife. Cool. What did I miss? Words and crowds. Oh, Romero was a vision and national treasure. Amen, Brian. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. And I think that was the thing, that if you look at this guy, he is so, you know, Peter is so frustrated because he's like, you know, he's bonded with this guy and the other guy's just a little crazier. You know, he pushes things a little too far. Roger, he's just a little bit more nuts.
He really takes those risks. Yeah.
He takes those risks. That's part of their friendship. But here it's heartbreaking because he's gotten bit and Peter knows that, you know, he ties it off where it got bit. You know, but Peter knows it's like, you know,
it's the end.
It's the end. I've not just, you know, I've not just lost, you know, I haven't lost you. I'm going to lose you. And we couldn't afford that. And I couldn't afford that, you know, and here you go. This is the aftermath, you know?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't cut it off in time.
No, he did not, man.
And
what did you think about how they played those characters?
They both were genuine friends. You could feel it, but and you could feel the pain when he realizes his buddy's bit.
Yeah.
This whole relationship is so playful throughout the movie and effective, and that you get comfortable, and then right when you get comfortable, he gets bit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is just
I mean,
good storytelling.
I think, they, what is it they say, those various things, it's like, oh God, what's the quote? A sea during a storm, a night with no moon, and the wrath of a quiet man, or the anger of a quiet man. I think the thing that gets me about this is a guy that you see is so stoic and seems so together. To see him even make a subtle expression of sadness over this guy getting injured just makes it so much more heartbreaking, so much more heartbreaking.
Of course, it makes the depth of their friendship is, shakes this unshakable dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it absolutely does.
When you're really friends with a guy, you're just kind of friends with him forever.
Yeah.
Just kind of what
true.
happens. Like when you're really buddies. Like, are you still friends with people you were with in kindergarten? Like,
no. But that's more. That's
if you
more
saw them today, would you feel like their friend or not?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, if I saw people that I came up with, I mean, it's not like we had a falling out. But see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we moved. So, back before the internet and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to be a pen pal when you're 9. You know what I mean? You could do it, but guys aren't the best at it.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't talk to any of them, but they're still my friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was definitely, there wasn't a kindergarten falling out to put, definitely, to be sure.
The kindergarten betrayal. Yeah, of course. None of that.
But yeah, these guys have a great thing going, in this.
A very limited.
I mean, they have a great thing, yeah. And then this happens, right? So it's tough stuff, man. It's really tough stuff. And so, for me, again, when I look at this kind of flick, I'm always thinking, how do we as storytellers, and how does this movie make it so successful? Because we haven't known them for a long time. We haven't seen them. Hey, what's up, Larful? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, it all depends on the zombies are. Let me see here. The real Sean Crummell, kind of, but I think it's a way of showing him breaking under the pressure, and people do weird stuff when that happens. I would agree with that. Yeah. Because he's not. It's hard to imagine how anyone would react in this situation, don't you think? I mean, it's Roger goes a little bit out of character.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Vaughn.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's pretty interesting. It's they've just lost one of their main dudes, and it's only going to get worse, because that's how movies are, baby. That's how these stories roll. And Romero always I was thinking the other day about storytelling and how giving and taking is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought about the scene with Chunk and Goonies where he discovers the ice cream, and he's in heaven, and he's listing off all the flavors, and he's in heaven, and then suddenly the corpse of a dude lands on him.
Yeah.
Like he's witnessing a dead body for the first time, and it's not just witnessing one, it's landing on top of him. It was amazing. That's the screenwriter didn't have to give him ice cream. The screenwriter could have had him just walking around a basement and discovered a body wrapped in a carpet or some shit.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They gave him the ice cream, and then they paid out the dead body on him. So Romero is giving us these moments of comfort, and they got them all, and they have everything they need. And then boom, a guy gets bit. It's over. Like, he's out. So
now they're safe in the mall. They're safe because of this guy's help, but this guy isn't going to get to experience it, man.
Right.
It's incredibly rough stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you saw this story, they get into it, and I think we've passed that scene because it was sort of a weird scene. She goes into the other room, but they talk about that she's pregnant. And Peter, being the guy that he is, being the tough guy, the hardened guy, says, I can take care of it. Do you want to bring this into the future? And I was like,
he's
wow.
Gonna do a 9 to 5. No, he's just gonna walk to JCPenney's and pick up what they need.
He's ready to rock. I mean, and that's a heavy. I mean, you want to talk about themes in this flick that are hardcore. I mean, that is definitely one.
Yeah.
It's like, should humanity go on? And oh my gosh, all of that stuff is just brilliant.
Should humanity? I mean, these are great. I love that too, because he just poses it as questions. Questions we should all ask ourselves at some point, just to at least reflect upon.
Well, I mean, and I think they kind of give us, and we're going to get to that, in terms of this flick. Yeah, take care of it could go either way. Yeah, exactly. That's right. We're going to get to that point because Romero, yeah, take care of her? No, man.
No, man.
That's the thing that I love about this flick and about how they handle it, because Romero was originally thinking about doing another bleak flick, but he fought that impulse, man. You know, he fought that impulse and he tried to do something a little different, and I think we're better for it. You know, I think
he was honest with himself.
Yeah.
What he wanted to do and what he wanted to say. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love I love their little team now is all like the little paradise is all wounded, you know, and you're like, oh, what happened now?
So
What's gonna, you know, like, and this is before the whole like we have to cut off the limb and cauterize thing. They just don't know it yet. We're still learning. Everyone's still learning about the zombies.
Yeah, and if you think about that too, I mean, we have such a, you know, starting with Max Brooks's book, you know, with the zombie survival guides and all of that kind of thing. You know, it's such a, you know, there's these rules, you know, as they would say in the Scream movies, and you've got these rules now that are well worn, but they're showing people not knowing there are any rules and figuring it out. Like, we don't even know why the hell this started. You know,
I love that aspect to Romero's not telling us why.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Let me get this here. I'm going to open this up here. All right, here we go. So here we go. And one of the scenes that I love, because we talk about, you know, how do you create, you know, characters, right? How do you create, you know, how do you do things that are different and more interesting? Here's a sequence. When I saw this was in a movie that is a bit heavy, as you know. This was a sequence this was a moment that put me in that this is so cool. You know, again, after having my, you know, heart broken by the loss of one of our friends.
They'll kill him.
So here you go. We go to the gun store.
My God, that's not even just a gun store. That's like just someone's arsenal, guns just stacked on top of guns on top of guns. What section is it in? I don't know.
Every section is a gun section in the store.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, and then of course he goes full cowboy, and I love that.
You should. We've all wanted
and he even does the gun trick there. I wish I could show.
Got the Colts. Yeah. He's
And then
look at them. They're all so loaded for bear. I love it.
It's a thing of beauty, man.
Oh, that scene felt great. And then him in the wagon, it's like the friendship is still alive and well, guys. Kind of sad, a little wounded, but still rolling.
It's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, always at the gates. You know, always at the gates. I mean, that sums it up right there. That's friendship right there.
That's love, baby.
It is, man.
Yeah, for real.
I hate to break people's, you know, hearts, but this is 1978 for those of people that are online and don't believe that we made amazing stuff back in the day. Here it is.
I love how the mall's unused by anyone but them. So everything's you're seeing everything as pristine as it really would have been. They didn't have to clean up or anything. It's awesome. Untouched. How could a mall be untouched? I don't know. You ever think about what would happen to a Costco if zombies showed up? I do.
Absolutely.
It would be a war. You'd be shooting people for toilet paper at Costco. Anyway.
Oh, you would be. Yeah. It would be a descent into madness, man. It would be a descent into madness.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
And so, you know, this
on madness. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
One of the scenes that I think is one of my absolute favorites in the flick, and it sucks, but it's a great scene, is the part where you know, they're taking care of him, or he's in bed now. He's done his last sort of mission he could do, where they drive a car through the mall. And this part right here, I grabbed this shot because he goes, "Hey man, we really got him, buddy." Like, he knows he's doomed, but he's kind of like, "We did it, man, didn't we?" Like, I kicked ass. And his buddy's like,
"Yeah, it's sad.
You sure did, little man."
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
Yeah.
And that's him saying, "Yeah, we did." Oh.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah. It gets you, man, because then he's got to kind of, you know, he's going through there and he's seeing, you know, like, we're going to get money. You never know. Might come in handy. Let's go to the bank. And
might as well do some high stakes Monopoly with that money, but that's That's about all you're gonna get to do.
Yeah, we whooped them and we got it all. That's what he said, Brian. I knew Brian.
We got it all.
Oh man. I know. It hurts, man. It hurts. And then he passes away. And by the way, the meanest thing they do in this flick, and I mean this lovingly, it's great film, is that look he has on his face when he goes versus what we're gonna see. And he says to his buddy as he's going to, he says, I'm gonna try not to come back. Try not to come back. And you're like, no, man. And then we have to wait to see if he does. We have to wait to see if he does. And unfortunately for us, he sure does. And frankly, one of the best makeups in this entire thing. Oh, Brian, I don't doubt you know this movie line for line.
I don't doubt
I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all. Yeah. And I think that's the thing for me too. It's like, and this is as far as I've made it with screen caps. So I did not make it to the bikers and the date and all of those amazing things that we have right here. So
the bikers.
I know I've got to grab some of that stuff while we talk, but
okay, cool.
Up to this point, right? We've established things. So
yeah,
what do you think about this flick in general?
I think it's one of the all-time greats of zombie must for any horror fan or zombie fan. I mean, this is like what we've been saying the whole time, Shanth. This movie, it broke all the rules, and yet everything made so much sense, and it had all these great statements, and yet it wasn't preachy. It's fun, it's funny, it's horrific, it's action-packed, it's violent, it's gory. I mean, it's like everything you want. The characters are interesting. Their situation is really interesting. This is one of the all-time classics for a reason. For him to do this 10 years after Night of the Living Dead and for this to be so different and still its own classic was because he spoke to his era, and he was a guy kind of ahead of his time. I mean, he was warning us about malls before they were even really a thing. He knew that they were where you could hold up, though. He knew he could make a compelling story. That's just really great. That's really visionary. This movie, my favorite viewing of it ever was I went to that festival where I got to meet him, like I told you about, and the last movie was this movie, but it was timed so as the movie ended, the sun would just come up at dawn.
Oh my gosh!
So it was the best. It was all out on a ranch, like a haunted ranch in Austin, outdoors with like one of those big.
So have you had a better movie experience than that? That sounds like a pretty damn good one, man.
That was it. So yeah, the fact that they chose that to be the last movie out of all the Romero movies, and it finishes at dawn was just perfect. So it's what I love about it is I think people are starting to get it now. And when you were growing up in the 80s, I never heard about Dawn of the Dead much as the movie to watch. We talked more about Freddy and Jason and Evil Dead, but this movie is like, it was blowing people's minds when you did watch it, So I saw this a little later, not too much in life, but like maybe in my early 20s. And I mean, it kind of made me mad because I was like, why didn't I watch this earlier? This is so good. This is everything a good horror movie is supposed to be. But I think now it's more popular, more poignant than ever. So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the way that they address all of these things, all of these different themes, like if you've got this paradise and you've got this, contagion going on and there are bigger issues in the world, they just did it in a way that was not tacky, that was not simple, in terms of he was too smart for that. And I don't mean, what we see a lot of today, which is people trying to be too clever by half. That's a whole different category of stuff. He wasn't trying to be clever. He was trying to talk about how human beings actually are in the situation, when they find themselves in life, and life is complicated and relationships are complicated, and my hope is that, when people look at films like this, they know for a few things. First of all, comics don't just happen in one place, but movies don't happen in one place either. They can happen, in Pennsylvania, and they can change the world, and it's like the scenes that get me, as I look at the film and I think about, what is the case is if you have everything, you're still in there with yourself. You're still in that mall with yourself, but you can't completely shut the world out things are going to come and break through. It's going to happen, and I think that's what
right.
we're seeing happen. Yeah.
I love that he realized that
Yeah.
it's not a story that just takes place in the mall, like where they get to live happily ever after or just hide out and whatever. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, you're right, man. It's real. The real world always leaks in. You can't, it's a mess. And humanity ends up being way worse than the zombies when it comes to their mall setup.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, if you can put yourself in a situation as an artist where you think about, you really kind of get some experience. I mean, isn't that really what it's about? When we talk about comic shops or we talk about, any of the things that are important to us that we feel like we've kind of lost, places to get together, places to meet. It's because those conversations that we had there informed us and made us better through having these conversations. We gained experience, we gained friendships, we lost love and we found love, all of that stuff.
Yeah, man. And speaking of love, there's like a full-on like candlelit dining scene between the happy couple.
Oh, it's about to happen, man. I'm about to have that up for you. Hang on one second. Thank you, guys. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Make sure you like this stream too if you enjoy what Vaughn and I are doing here. We have a blast doing this for you, obviously. That's why we do it. And you guys are great. So let me call those up real quick. Let me see here.
Cool. Candlelit dinner during the zombie apocalypse with your beautiful pregnant wife. I mean, I could think of worse things that could be going on. It sounds all right to me. Sounds all right. They're, it's their little paradise.
Yeah.
But for how long? And they're lucky those two dudes that came with them were both good guys.
That's absolutely true. They are.
And let's just have this ball for ourselves and we'll keep
it
going,
I mean, I think
they could have gone full barbarian, but no.
Thank God they didn't, right?
They aren't those dudes. They're
they're noble. And I think that too, let me see if I can get this to happen here. I hope I've got these in order. Hang on, guys. But that candlelit dinner was one of those things that there's no way that's in another flick, for me. I mean, for my money, you get that here. And so here you go. Let me get this on screen for you guys because it's a thing of beauty, man. And Brohawk Williams is here. Dawn of the Dead is about, dang it, David.
Hell yeah.
You got it. We love you, David. You know it. Let me see here. Present. I'm not comfortable with the new, the present thing. I keep looking for share. So here you go. Let's see here. Right.
Present.
Yep. And then let me get rid of this. Hide sidebar. And here you go, guys. This is one of the more amazing scenes in this flick where
I can't believe they did this for him.
Yeah, they decide that they're going to have a nice dinner because Flyboy, I think, wants to propose to her. And like a real buddy would, their friend Peter helps set it up for them.
Yep.
And make a nice evening for them as a couple.
Lovely.
And this is where 78 really comes into play. It's like you see him, he's being so nice about it because he's got something he wants to do while they're having dinner, which is bury his brother, which is a hell of a scene. I mean, talk about putting two things together. And
malls back then were just filled with plant life sections, man.
They were.
Somebody had to keep watered all the time. Yeah. So he buries him there.
And Flyboy proposes and she says no. And she gives him the ring back. And that is Romero.
Like, timing.
Yep. Gives him the ring back.
Says no, guy.
Yep.
How would you feel if you got rejected at the end of the world?
Yep. Because
that's like the name of an album. How would you feel?
She is.
Is she have her eye on one of the other dudes? Oh wait, there's only one other dude now.
Yeah, I think you know who it is now.
Whoops!
If you're the paranoid type, you know which guy she's into. That's for sure, because there's only one left.
They'll be like, bitch.
Yeah, and by the way, if it's a zombie, then you really.
It's the apocalypse, all right?
Yeah, the ego's gotta hurt. And I edited this shot a little bit.
Look at him. Oh,
I edited the shot. Move the blanket up just a bit for you kids because this is YouTube.
Oh,
yeah, she's the ice queen now. But guys, let me tell you this right now. What's funny to me is she turns him down.
Cuddling. Yeah.
And then they still complete their date.
Women's lib.
And
did
heartbreaking, man.
We don't know. But he doesn't look like he did. Maybe he did.
And now they're living in this, these faux homes they've created.
Beautiful.
It's like, boy, he's hanging out smoking a pipe in an installation.
Here? What should we do today? Should we go to corn dog on a stick? Oh,
it's rough, man.
Should we head over to Pac Sun? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I
Crazy,
mean, and there are no words for how far this movie goes, in terms of the themes and the stuff that they try to do. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is that, now they're here and it's like, you think, well, what's going to happen now? They're just kind of living out their existence, trying to figure out what to do. And of course, he starts giving her pilot lessons, which I thought was an incredibly cool part of this movie, teaching her how to fly a helicopter. Right. Even though they're, not going to get married or they're, she's turned him down. But
maybe
sadly,
he thinks if he teaches her, it'll build a trust between them that she will then want to marry him and totally not run away from him in his helicopter.
No chance. Not a chance for him.
Nope. Nope. I mean, she needs men around to protect her, man, while she has the baby. Come on. This is it's not going to leave him. But then here comes the hooligans, the hooligan gang, who just got done raiding the Miller High Life factory, apparently. Yeah, these guys, this is really cool. This was another thing about zombie mythos that blew my mind when watching this the first time was, roving biker gangs that prey on everyone would happen. It would happen, and they would be really good at it. And it'd be really, they'd make a party of it, So this was amazing.
They're Vikings, man.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that Brian's going to know this answer. But is that our makeup artist extraordinaire in the top right?
Well, he's in the movie a bunch, so.
Oh, I know he is. I'm just thinking, is that him though? Did I get a good shot of him?
In my opinion, that's a Savini nose.
That is a Savini nose, is it not, Brian? What do you got?
The iconic Savini nose.
That's right. Yeah. That's our boy. There's our boy. That is right.
There's our boy.
You got it. Yeah, there's our boy. I thought it was our boy. Of course. Of course. Yes. Everybody's like, come on, man. Come on, fella. Yep.
Awesome.
Savini as Blade. Yes, indeed, man. You got to love it, man.
Blade before Blade.
And then how's that for an Apocalypse Now approach of motorcycles?
Awesome.
Where's that music?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Just burning up the highways with their band of raiders, man. Would you join a band of raiders, Shanth?
I might. It depends. It depends.
I joined one called Comicsgate.
Yeah, we actually have, haven't we? There's no getting around it. Isn't it funny though, too, that people always talk about, what would you do in X situation?
Yeah.
And I think that's one
what
of the
these
things
zombie movies are good for. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's one of the things I love about Comicsgate and what I love about what you see.
Cheers. I agree.
It's like you get to know what people would do. Would they go out there, try to create their own thing? Would they actually try to, make better books, better comics, and make this stuff happen? And it's like, yeah, we did.
Yeah, I agree.
We make this stuff happen.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it so great for me anyway to be in Comicsgate. So thank you guys all for being here. We do appreciate it.
Oh, hell yeah.
We've got so many people here. Yeah.
Cool.
Tom Savini had the 6-shooter in his pants. I love that. Yeah.
Yes, that he was Sex Machine. And
yes, he was. There's
when I went to Mexico, I saw some of those balls with the 6-shooter and the thing that he used in that. Anyway, yeah. So he's like, "Oh crap, Flyboy, we're gonna have to defend this whole mall from a band of angry racist bikers. Let's go."
Yeah. And that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this was when like someone would say something racist and you were just like, hey man, like he wasn't doing it to be because that's all his character was. You were just like, that's what an asshole said back then to somebody would say to somebody. You know what I mean? It felt more it was more natural. It wasn't like forced. Like, and by the way, he's racist. Don't you hate him? It wasn't, things weren't written like that back then. Like they are now. You know what I mean? The heavy-handedness and
because people actually knew people. They
actually wanted people to talk like, I don't know, people. Yeah, exactly. Instead of Twitter.
That's the truth, isn't it?
It's so true. So true.
Yeah.
Man, it's time for this awesome scene of them like raiding their fort, man, and them defending and sniping fools. I mean, this is exactly what would happen, man. Shanth,
It
you and I
is.
would be sniping. Guess
Of
my
course we would,
character's
man.
dead though. So
Yeah,
she's
well,
a
you know,
boy
it's
now.
tragic, man. You know, I always feel that was one of the things I felt, you know, was the most, you know, interesting about it, which is they put so much time. I mean, that guy gave his life in order to protect, you know, and try to secure the entrance, you know, the
hell yeah.
entrances to this place. And then it all just comes crashing down. These bikers come
Right.
in, smash through. So
Right.
not only is he dead, but it's like the inevitable loss, you know, of you know.
Doesn't George also show the boredom and the tedium?
Yes,
of
he
the
does.
of the life? That's so well. He didn't have to show any of that. And he does, you know. That was really good too. And so it's kind of cool that he gave them that breath. But then like
Yes.
this, like you're saying now, like this, yeah, this is like the beginning of the end, really. This is the big standoff almost.
Well, what I thought was interesting about it is we have these conversations about, you know, the whole, like, you know, what are we going to do, you know, as a society, and what is, you know, what are the rules and what's civilization about? At the end of the day, civilization is something that is only able to be maintained to the degree you can protect it. And that's the thing about it. You know, they can't protect this little secure big area they have from the barbarian hordes that are outside. And it's not just one group of people they're trying to defend themselves from. And I always thought that that was what made this movie a masterpiece, you know, is the fact that it was nuanced. And I remember I watched this movie with my wife, and that's when I sort of realized, of course, I had made, you know, quite a good choice. I watched this and she goes, I love this movie. And I said, really, what do you like about it? And she goes, it just has everything. You know, it has the fun, it has the adventure, it has the characters. But when you're done, you feel like you've seen a movie that is much longer than this movie actually is.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you've seen a movie that is just, it's so much more epic. And when you think about the budget,
characters like that, it really helps add to the juice. Like you're right. It feels longer.
It does, you know, and it's like, for those of you guys waiting right now, I've got one more upload coming for you just to close this out, because I think it's my favorite message of any film, period. And it's what makes this movie classic to me. There's many things about it that are classic, but this one bit, the choice that Romero made, I'm so glad he did not go with a nihilistic ending to this flick, because I think it deserved a better ending, if that makes sense.
Right.
And because it is about a dawn. And so I think it works in that sense better. But let me get this uploaded for you guys. And thank you guys for being here too, by the way, with Vaughn and I, as we talk about these horror movies, because we do love it. We love this stuff.
Do. Thank you guys for hanging with us. I appreciate you all. It's
Yeah,
fun, man. Thanks for having me, Shanth. It's always a great time.
Oh, my brother, of course. Listen, man, you know, we talk about this a lot, but life is too short not to be doing, you know, the stuff that you enjoy, you're passionate about, and sharing these movies with people. And I love sharing these movies with people, because when I saw them, and my wife saw this movie, she goes, that was just a really good movie. Like, I really felt like it made me think. It wasn't preaching to me. And God almighty, I mean, isn't that just the best right there? You know,
I love a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, yet has a message that does make you think and make you want to talk to someone you watched it with after. I
exactly.
Love the movie. And he has the adventure in there, the gore, the horror, the comedy, the great characters, well-defined characters. I mean, Romero really, what an underappreciated creator, man.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. Go. You got it.
Yeah. That's just great. I'm really watching this again. I realize, like, this movie's special to this day, and I think more and more horror fans appreciate it than ever, man. It's in people's tops. It's in almost everyone's tops for top zombie movies of all time. Some people do consider it the greatest zombie film of all time, and I'm not even. I might also. I'm back and forth on it. I really like Day of the Dead as well. But this is just actually I kind of like this better. Something about it, something about the characters maybe in the end really get it.
Yeah, for me, I think the part that got me is how they show the hubris of certain characters. Like Flyboy is like, this is our mall, this is our space, and Peter is saying to him, hey, listen, man, don't do anything stupid because we don't want to alert them. They're going to do some stuff. They'll smash some things up, but, only if they come up into our space do we need to do anything serious. And of course, unfortunately, Flyboy can't resist. He takes a shot at one of the bikers. And there, of course,
now is
the great man himself.
Oh, Savini.
Yeah, Savini with his... This is lagging, man. Here we go. With his machete to the head.
Yeah. Can't wait.
One of the great Savini moments.
This is a great effect. Yeah.
And of course, Flyboy.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Flyboy unfortunately becomes a casualty of his own hubris, his own desire to defend what they have. Yeah, Day of the Dead makes me feel like I have the flu. There you go. Yeah, Romero is a futurist in some respects. Even Land of the Dead has some relevant issues for today. You aren't wrong. Yeah, Romero was a visionary filmmaker. There's no getting around it. Wasn't that effect filmed backwards? It was. You've got it. It was filmed backwards. Walden Books. I've never been in one of those. Yeah, exactly. I've been in a Walden Books. It happens. It happens to the best of us, right? And of course, Flyboy is, zombified, and Peter has to be the one to put him down. And it's the last of, this group. It's the last of their cohesion. And what I thought was, I know I mentioned this before, but the thing about this movie I love more than anything, and it's in many ways, it's an opposite statement of the previous film, which is to say the film itself had obviously a very tough and nihilistic, brutal end to it, which is what made it last so long and what made it so strong. But that Peter has that moment of doubt. He has that moment of the zombies are surrounding him. He says, "You go ahead, I'll hold them off." And he basically realize he doesn't want to, this is a hellscape. He has a nihilistic view of things. And he says, I don't want to be in this world anymore. And what ends up happening, which is quite beautiful, is, while she's up there and you go, is he coming? What's going to happen? He goes, just take off, go on without me. And you see him emerge. He uses that gun to shoot a zombie, and he goes and he fights his way to the rooftop. And that's what I love, that heroic moment where he fights his way to the rooftop, he gets on the helicopter, and the two of them fly off, and it's just great, man.
Dawn.
It's absolutely great. What a movie, man. What a movie.
It was the ending that needed to happen, or else we were going to all be mad.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so, guys,
beautiful.
Here, since for those of you guys who've stuck around, thank you so much. I want to share this little fun thing. If you didn't know already, this movie, if you just Google if you just search on YouTube Dawn of the Dead 1978, you might be surprised what you find. So if you're interested in checking out this movie after our conversation about it, and I hope you do, because we love it and it's fun and it's our pleasure to talk about this stuff with you guys. Do search for it. Do check it out. It is very easy to find, the whole movie, and it's great, yeah, you did, but it's not going to change it for you. It actually might make it more bearable if you've seen Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
it's
actually, most definitely. It goes better with the title, The Dawn. It's not.
It does go better.
Beginning.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
absolutely right, Vaughn. So yeah, man, guys, thank you for hanging out. I know that we've got the Jack Show. I think is at 11. I think Razor Fist is going to be on the Jack Show tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anybody looking forward to hearing Razor Fist thoughts on any and all things, and seeing Jack Malin and Anna, that Star Wars girl, of course, and who am I forgetting? And Cecil, of course. My God, I don't know if Cecil's going to be able to be there. He's at the beach, but he might be able to. We'll see if he's on the Jack Show, but it should be a great show. And so please, guys, do go check that out. And Vaughn, you've got Terror in the Trenches out there, and it's doing great. And the link for that's in the description. And I've got Nosfero, the Crypt Walker. Oh, Jack Show is at 11:10. Thank you so much, John.
Cool.
And thank you guys for being here, man. We appreciate it. So Vaughn, any thoughts? Any closing thoughts here?
Guys, it's the movie that made everyone want to make zombie movies. Watch it, love it, enjoy it. 'Tis the season. Halloween's almost here. This is one of the all-time greats. This is the heavy hitter. I think it's kind of a must. So thanks for letting me analyze this and get into this one, man. Again, it made me realize how much I love Romero's work and how much I miss him.
Yeah. Absolutely, guys.
Visionary.
Yeah, and Bancroft is at 11, and I would be a bad brother if I didn't say go over to Bancroft's channel. Somebody could drop a link to that stream in the chat before we close out to Bancroft's 11 o'clock show. Please do that. Everybody go over there and tell Michael we said hello. He's the guy who helped me launch Nosfero and has helped so many of us, and he's a brother of ours and has a great channel. So Michael Bancroft's channel, please head over there and check out his 11 o'clock show. I'm sure it's going to be great. Not that anything amazing and crazy has been happening in Comicsgate lately. there's always something to talk about. Yeah, there's always something to talk about. Thank you guys so much. Take care, and we will see you soon. Take care, everybody. Peace. Let's see, where's our... Hold on a second, guys. But I got to have one more...
Let's laugh maniacally until we close.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? People always go mad in some places. They hate to even